Welcome everyone, this is Akinar, and today we're playing the Talos Principle 2. I am so excited to be saying those words, because the Talos Principle is one of my all-time favorite games. It is one of the best puzzle games that I have played. The gameplay, the puzzle mechanics, the world design, the game design, the great soundtrack, everything about that game. And on top of that, it has a fantastic story and challenges you to think philosophically. It is just such a, frankly, a masterpiece. And some people have said that it is the most underrated game of all time, that, you know, it is this fantastic puzzle game that just didn't really sell that well for whatever reason. But we have a sequel now, and I was so stoked when I learned about that earlier this year, and today is the day. Crow Team has delivered a sequel to us, and I'm so interested to find out. I am going in blind. This is a blind playthrough, so I don't know anything. I have not watched any trailers or gameplay. I don't know what mechanics may or may not be carried over. I don't know what new mechanics there are supposed to be, and I don't know where the story is going to be picking up, other than, I don't know. I can only guess. The title screen here is very interesting to see. We have one of our characters that we would have played as in the first game holding this lantern, and this statue, this gigantic chained statue. I don't know who this would be. Looks like somebody out of Greek mythology. My guess would be maybe it's Talos. Talos was supposed to be this, with my scant knowledge of Greek mythology, this giant automaton made of brass or something. I think made by Daedalus, question mark. I'm not too sure on the details, but of course that was one of the central discussions or ideas in the first game, was could you make out of an AI, out of a computer programmed robot, could you create a human? Could that be equivalent to a human being? And that's where you get this idea of the Talos Principle. And I'm sure that's going to be explored even further in this game. But yeah, I can only guess what we're gonna find. So why don't we find out? Let's go ahead and play the Talos Principle 2. Oh man, it's so, I try not to be hyped for games normally. I try to manage expectations and just go with the flow, but I can't help but get super excited for this one. So let's find out what we're dealing with here. New game time. Talos Principle 2. A prophet hath no honor in his own country. John 4:44. I've always felt that a human being could only be saved by another human being. James Baldwin. Oh man, look at this. This feels familiar. Initializing firmware, firmware functional, loading autonomous program parameters, system check passed, initializing memory banks, starting autonomous process, ready. A start very much like the first game.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your friend, and I am called Elohim.
Whoa, okay, that is actually very surprising. The start, we're in a different starting area, but the imagery with our process or our AI booting up almost the exact same way that it did in the first game. And then Elohim is back. The events at the end of the previous game would lead me to believe that Elohim was no more, right? The process had been, if I'm taking the true ending, what I think of as the true ending when you wake up and you walk out of the dam. But apparently that is not the case. Elohim is still around in some capacity. So one of the things that the first game teaches you is to be a very, very exploratory, that there are lots and lots of secrets to find. So I will be taking my time. I try to be as thorough as I can. I try to be as systematic as I can. And I am going to be trying to uncover as many secrets as possible. I would imagine Crow Team has buried a number. I would anticipate a game chock full of those kinds of secrets. So are we, what is going on here? Are we still in some sort of simulation? We have our purple gateway as we did before, which kind of prohibits you from taking different puzzle mechanisms from one area to the next. We have a barrier that looks just like the first game. And it looks like we have what appears to be a jammer. Okay, so we already have a mechanic, a very familiar mechanic to those who have played the first game. And now I'm guessing it's going to be just like the first game, where you cannot carry the jammer with you from one side to the other. Yep, you're going to get pulled back onto this side. What I would imagine would be just the same. Just taking a little moment here to really soak in the upgrade in graphic fidelity. This is the other thing, that the first game is now almost 10 years old. And it's really, the install size, the download size as I was installing this today was almost 70 gigabytes. I don't even know if the first game didn't even come close to that. This is for me. I don't play a lot of like high-end games like Starfield or anything like that. So this is definitely the most hard disk space demanding game that I have played in recent memory. We have our companion cube, just like before. So already a couple mechanics that are very familiar here. This is I'm very geeked right now. I'm trying to soak in a new environment and the new details here. We're in the starter area, so there's probably not too much to really find in terms of secrets, but you never know. Ah, you see the flicker there. You see the little bit of the environment not being fully set in stone. The code not running properly. What is going on here, though? Are we in? Really want to know immediately, because I would have thought that the simulation is done for. This all feels so very familiar. Perhaps they're doing this on purpose.
But a dream. You will stay here only for a little while. Soon you will awaken in a new world. But first, you must undertake the trials of initiation. They will help me prepare your vessel.
Oh. Interesting. Let's see what happens here, but I'm starting to maybe have an idea of what this is. There are often secrets. Yeah, I know from the first game that it was something that you wanted to do was peek behind bushes, because you never know when there was a switch hidden in a corner that you didn't poke. We have our first QR code.
And their messages. They are merely aspects of yourself, as am I, after a fashion.
I must forge the tools by which humanity will rebuild itself and transform the world into the Eden that it never was. The blacksmith.
You may linger in my garden for as long as you wish. But remember, my child, that the new world awaits you, and this place is only a dream.
The game is telling me, pick up the pace, dude. We need sigils for these locks. Okay, so we have our Tetris sigils, just like we did before. So let's go to the door on the left first. I do see. Oh, is this just? It's given a new. I was wondering what that particle effect was, but it looks like that's just related to the sigil. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one later. Oh, it is. Yeah, look, this one also has just a little extra particle effect around it, which I don't remember being there. Okay, they are telling us right off the bat we can hold X to reset. The seasoned Talos Principle veterans will know that that is the case. All right. Ooh, I like this effect. I don't know if we had that before, but you've got now a cable that is being lit up to really easily demonstrate exactly what is being flipped off by that panel. That's very cool. I like that. Nice touch. We, of course, have the ability to jump on the boxes, which I think is our little tutorial here, telling us once you stack the boxes at the proper height, you can jump. That definitely is an oldie, but a goodie. So very, very simple, small. I don't know if I remember any puzzle in the Talos Principle being in this small of a room, right? The starter area, you had these spread out rooms. This is a very compact one. Let's see what we got in the next one. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We cannot go through here, but we can set up a situation where we can use the boxes to jump over the fence. We could also maybe stack the boxes. Maybe that's all we're supposed to do. What is on this side? Anything? Is there anything over here? Can I do anything with these? No. There's nothing over here, so really all they're teaching us to do, this actually could be an advanced mechanic from the first game. There were some puzzles later in the game that wanted you to just take a box from the other side of a fence, and I definitely totally did not get stuck on any of that. It was not my overcomplicating brain missing out on the fact that I could just take a box with me over a fence. So it's nice that they are really tutorializing that right from the get-go. Make sure you know you can take the box over the fence with you. All right, the green piece is here. Not a challenge so far. Just getting our feet wet. Same sort of deal here. We take the barrier out of the way, and then we have the ability to just take this box over here and jump on it. No, we have to. This is another thing that I think the game really did not teach you at the start. The fact that you can just take this box with you. I think there was like a red puzzle, one of the first red puzzles that you run into, where the idea of picking up a jammer or putting down a jammer from a ledge was like the core idea in a puzzle. And now they are introducing that as like, no, this is the easy tech. This is the beginner level tech that you need to be ready to use from the get-go. So I can only imagine what the advanced tech is going to be in this game.
Toys. They are symbols of the process by which our people were created.
All right, so we have our first. He said they were symbols of the process by which our people were created. So this is clearly something different from the first simulation. And the fact that it talks about our people being created, I think, wasn't that my memory of some of the first game and its DLC may have faded a little bit, but I think that was the conclusion of the DLC, is that you had all of these different processes that had been trapped in Gehenna, but you eventually freed them and you uploaded them so that there were multiple processes that were able to escape and be generated into the real world, quote unquote, something like that. So it seems like maybe we are one of those, that there has maybe been some some process now set up to generate fresh, without going through an entire simulation that has to build the AI from scratch through how many ever generations of iterations that it goes through. Now they can just sort of maybe, I don't know, copy the existing code in some way, but also give some uniqueness to the new process that's being generated. We can rotate with a right click. Okay, so we do that. This one is not not at the complicated end of the spectrum. So we're moving along now to the yellow puzzles. These Tetris puzzles, these little locks from the first game could definitely be. I struggled with some of them. We'll see how we do in this game, but they are not some of the tougher versions of those can be doozies. So what are we doing here? So this is, we have a fan. We are really so far seeing all previous mechanics, which is probably on purpose, anticipating that a lot of people will be playing this game having played the first, and that you can kind of jump in having this level of familiarity. But I am excited to see what, I have to imagine there is going to be new stuff that they are going to drop into the mix eventually here. But this one seems pretty straightforward. We're just creating a situation here to give us some elevation. If you had not played the first game, if you were jumping into Talos Principle 2 straight away, then maybe some of these puzzles might be a little bit more. You might have to think a little bit about how exactly am I supposed to, you know, lift myself up. Having played the first one myself, some of these are coming very naturally so far. Versatile Contraption. I have not been paying attention to the names of the levels, admittedly. I am so geeked about just being in a new world and trying to absorb all of those little details is so much fun, but also so overwhelming sometimes. Now, we can just block this, but we probably want to do it in a way that we're also activating this platform. Oh, except that cable goes to this here. So what are we using this for? The jammer was jamming this over here. And do we have any other equipment? That is sometimes the solution to the puzzle, is just to look around the environment and find out, oh, there's another jammer hiding behind a bush. But that doesn't seem to be the case. So now what are we doing? This is the first one that is not immediately just occurring to me, how we solve this. Because we need to get through here. Ah, got it. Maybe. Just need to turn things this way. That's how we do it. Not that difficult. Just need to be careful about overcomplicating things. So we have a jammer behind a barrier here that we could maybe use to jam this. Can we? No. Okay, so the rules from the first game do still apply. This fencing here, we were able to use the jammer through the horizontal bars, but the vertical fencing here does not allow us to jam that force field. So what are we? We can use, however, we can use the jammer through the purple barrier. That is something that we can't take the jammer with us, but we can use it to jam this so that we have the ability to grab this guy. And now we should be able to just use the jammer on this fan. Look at that. Look at those new, all of the new particle effects, the upgraded look on everything. It's like everything still feels very familiar. Everything, like, you recognize this right away as a jammer. You recognize everything that you're seeing, but it just looks so dang good. I love it. Okay, now that sort of looked like a green piece, but I guess it is counted as a yellow sigil. Thank you for the encouragement, Elohim. If this is some new generative simulation, perhaps like, you know, the AI, the robots that did escape into the real world, this is a new process that they have set up. If so, it's fascinating that they have stuck with Elohim as this. Maybe that's because that they're just adapting the code from the previous simulation, and so he's already baked into the cake. You can't necessarily get rid of him, which probably means that we're going to be seeing Milton again. The world is full of limitless beauty, and I wish to see as much of it as I can. I think there was an at in the first game, but the at also had like another name. Was it Samsara? I'm gonna get some of these names mixed up. I have like a latent memory of them, but it has been many years now since I played the first game. So here's our sigil. We've got a fan that we need to probably block, or we need to interrupt that laser, it looks like. We've got this red laser, another familiar mechanic, that is powering the blue cable. I love the vibe of this blue power cable. Reminds me of The Witness a little bit. Maybe they took a little inspiration there. We have another power cable here that is going to blow this box over to this side of the fence. And we have a fan here that is going to take us up to a switch. So we're introducing these fan mechanics to newer players. Okay, but we have a box now which we can use to break the power line there. Break the red beam, and we're in. Easy. All right. Had a little bit of a dingus moment there on the second yellow sigil, but otherwise not too bad so far. We have a fan piece, and we have a fan here. So we can just use the fan piece to, I think what they're teaching you here is that the fan piece doesn't have to be used as a fan. It can just be used as something to activate a pressure plate. And then you can jump up here, and we're not quite at the sigil yet, so we have a little bit more work to do. Now we do need to take the fan with us, I think. We just put the box here to activate the pressure plate, and we take the fan with us so that we can activate the fan that's here, and we're up. Easy. Oh, look at this. Oh, we have our first view to sort of the outside world. Very good indeed. So now we can open this door. That was the red door. All right. I have to right click is the rotate now instead of, I feel like it was spacebar before, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Not too bad. I'll take those all day.
I am proud of all my children. Out of a world of ruins, they have built a new Jerusalem. And there your brothers and sisters await you to celebrate your birth.
A new Jerusalem. Your brothers and sisters awaiting your birth. Do we want to turn this on? That activates that fan. Maybe we don't want to turn that on yet because it looks like we need to give some elevation to our connector here. So we have a connector for the first time. I think we still have a few more mechanics from the original game to go through here, but we are really so far just completely reintroducing everything that we knew from before. So they're saying that you can deselect with the right click. Ah, okay, this is cool. So you can, if you want to, you can deselect the node that you connected to directly, or you can just, if you hold, oh, that's maybe what the little timed icon there, the timer next to the deselect all. I think that means if you hold down right click, yeah, so now that all the connections that you had established will be forgotten. That's cool. I like that. And so now if you right click to set this down, this is something that the main game had, but it didn't tell you straight up. You can right click to pick up the connector and keep all the connections that you've already formed. Or you can just take the connector and start from scratch by left clicking. I like that. It was a good feature that the first game had, but you didn't necessarily find out about it unless you were very, very doing a lot of science to figure out the different mechanics. So what we can do now, we've connected the source to the node over here. We can take our box, our hexahedron, and put that here. And now we can keep the connections by right-clicking. We can put them down here by, can I just right-click? Does it do it if I left-click as well? Okay, so either left-click or right-click, you can set it down as long as you've kept the connections when you right-click to pick it up. Okay, just ironing out the, remembering the details here in my mind. And now we can activate our fan, and our switch is turned on, and we have our first red sigil. Let's go. Not too bad. The red sigils here in the startup area are probably not going to be on the level of the red sigils from the original game. That one definitely wasn't. However, you know, I have some knowledge. I'm bringing in my knowledge from the first game. And if you were, once again, if you were playing this, if this were the first game that you had played, it might take some learning. All right, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Is there anything here? Looked like that might be a doorway. This level is like the biggest one so far. We have a blue source, and we have a box. We have a red source and 2 red connectors, but we also, okay, this is where we need, I'm immediately thinking that we need another connector. However, there is another connector over there. I was wondering for a second if we were gonna be able to connect multiple colors to the same connector. That would definitely be a new way of thinking about the game, but so far that doesn't seem to be the case. Let's just test it out just to be sure that our knowledge of the rules is not being, that we're not overlooking something here. That's pretty cool that it now has a little color outline around these different nodes that you've connected to. It shows you that there is a blue power source as well as a red power source and red, what do we call the ones? Receptor. Maybe that's what it is. Power receptor. Yeah, this is working the way that I would expect it to. I think the blue, as soon as this force field is going down, it's disrupting the node. It's disrupting the connector that's connected to the red sources. So what we need to do here is we need to put this back the way we had it. We need to reconnect the red. And then we simply need to get the box. Actually, let's just go ahead and put the box here. Keep the connections, but put this up on the box. And now that will allow us to take this connector and connect it to the blue power source, and that's how we don't cross the beams. Don't cross the streams. But also find the place where it does show you on the little display down below when you have both of them in the line of sight. There's the spot. All right, man, it's just like we're riding a bike again, and everything is just like we remembered it. Let's keep going from left to right. We'll keep moving around to each of the red puzzles here. Destructive interference. We've got another one where we need to not cross the streams, but we need to do it twice, it seems. Okay, so we've got a connector here. Blue and blue. And we can go red and red. And now we get our third connector. And now, how do we finagle this? We just reuse this one. We go ahead and get rid of the connections that we had, and we're gonna loop you in. And then we actually just I think we want to bring those a little bit back. Maybe this is not necessary, but let's just pull these back a little bit more. Give ourselves a little more room, because what we want to do is put the blue right here. Right? Easy. Okay. Just getting us reacquainted here with proper connector positioning. Prismatic diffraction. I like the sound of that. We have a connector set permanently to this blue receptor. And we have connector here. So we just want to take this and loop in this guy. It's grayed out right now, but it should be fine once everything opens up. Was that all we needed? Easy. It's a tutorial area. So they're just making sure that you are familiar with all the basics. Fundamental connections. So we need a beam to come around to this side. And we do have an extra connector. Okay. So we can move this connector over here. And we can just have, yeah, these are red puzzles, which is throwing me off just a little bit, because they really aren't at what I would expect as a level of difficulty for a red sigil. But I have to keep reminding myself this is a tutorial area.
Thank you, child. I have finished preparing your vessel. Now,
Your vessel.
Hear my advice. A new world awaits you, full of dangers and mysteries, signs and wonders. Things that I, in my garden, could never have imagined. In that world, you will have to be careful and smart and curious. But above all else, you will have to be human.
I think we're going to the real world. Now the question is, where do I go to get there? We opened all of the doors that had the... No, we didn't. I take it back. We did not open this door. There was one door remaining that had the red pieces. We'll see how I do with these. These could often be quite a struggle. But this one is looking to be not too bad. All right.
Step into the light, child, and awaken.
Whatever happens, we're in it together, Lilith. What is going to happen? Step into the light. Here we go.
Ah, you're awake. Welcome to the world of the living.
Whoa. Welcome to the world of the living. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden, the graphical look has completely changed. It's almost like they were holding back with that startup area. Like, okay, here's, you know, what you are familiar with from before. We're gonna make it look a little bit better, but this looks amazing. Holy shit. Hi, pleased to meet you. Let's go with that one.
Oh, you're polite. What a rare combination of traits. If only the algorithm produced more people like you.
The
I'm
algorithm.
confusing you. Don't worry, everyone is confused at first. You see, we all start out without a full knowledge of our own history, so we have the freedom to form our own opinions.
Without a full knowledge of our history. That was one of the key things. One of the key, in order to make it out of the simulation, right? You had to pass the, I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was essentially the test that you were self-sufficient, that you could sort of question what you had been told. But I think we could definitely use some pointers here. Help us out. Let's get started.
Of course. You want the short version or the long version?
Give me the short version. I'd like the long version, please. I want to know everything in excruciating amounts of detail. Let's go with the long version. I'm okay getting a little bit more into things here.
So, a long time ago, our ancestors dominated this planet. We call ourselves humans like they did, but they were organic. They built an advanced technological civilization, but unfortunately, their impact on the ecosphere caused changes in the climate, and an extremely contagious virus was released from the permafrost.
Didn't they have advanced medicine too?
That's something our historians still debate. Why did they invest so many resources into making war, and so few into useful research? But no matter the reason, in the end, they simply ran out of time.
So how are we here?
A team led by a scientist called Alexandra Drennan began a project that was intended to create, well, us. But knowing that there wasn't enough time, Drennan initiated a process, a series of iterations inside a simulation that would lead to the emergence of true artificial intelligence.
And it worked.
It did. Long after our ancestors died out, the first new human was born. We call her the Founder, although the name she took was Athena. She then created more of us, using the tools left behind by Drennan's team. Eventually, they started building the city of New Jerusalem.
That is really interesting. So the person, the construct that walks out of the dam holding the cat, that was Athena, or the Founder. That's cool. What about me?
Before the Founder vanished, she set a goal for this city. We call it the goal. Capital G and all.
Okay.
To make 1,000 new humans, and so complete New Jerusalem. Oh, it was difficult, especially after she left us. But after a millennium or so, we finally succeeded. And that's you. You're number 1,000.
Oh, shit. So over the course of 1,000 years or so, they've only managed to create 1,000. I would have thought that there would have been a lot more than that by now. Interesting. Thank you. I think that covers the basics.
You're welcome. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. When you're done, head outside. They're waiting for you. Your birth is quite the event.
Oh shit. We are fulfilling the goal. Capital G and all. We are number 1,000. Yeah, I want to know what happened to the founder. You said that she disappeared, right?
No one really knows. At first, she was closely involved with everything that happened in the city, but gradually, she became more distant. And one day, she simply vanished. That was centuries ago.
She simply vanished. That's it. They don't know any more than that. Now, there is an icon in the lower right. It says log. Looks like my mouse wheel. Can I click the center mouse wheel? There is a full log if I wanted to review any of this dialogue. Cool, cool, cool. Tell me about yourself.
Me? Well, as you can tell by my number...
Oh, she does
I'm
have a
quite
number
old.
right there, doesn't she?
I wasn't one of the first companions, but I did know Athena personally.
33.
She and Cornelius taught me a lot. Although I suppose I've made a few improvements here and there since those days. We didn't have a lot to work with in the beginning.
It's interesting that she kind of does have a bit of an older voice. Are they... this is so cool to have. Obviously, we had Elohim who was talking to us through the first game, but just having another NPC that is not interacting with us in just a text-only form, where we're actually conversing like this, is so cool. Will there be more new humans after me?
You've only just been born, and already you step right into a major controversy.
Oh, God.
The goal, as most people understand it, was fulfilled the moment you were born. Now, New Jerusalem is complete, and we can live in balance, without damaging the world like our ancestors did. That's the orthodox view, I suppose, but there are many who disagree. You'll have to figure out where you stand for yourself.
I suppose it might depend a little bit on how much pleasure that you derive from the process of initiating procreation. That might factor into things a little bit, wouldn't it? Hold on, am I immortal?
You won't age like our ancestors did, but of course, there is always some wear and tear. You should probably schedule a checkup every decade or so. Oh, and be a bit careful with water. You won't die if it rains or anything, but we're running low on insulation material. I wouldn't go swimming if I were you.
Who is Elohim? He spoke to me in my dreams.
He was the caretaker of the simulation that created the Founder. When the simulation was completed, he became part of all of us. You will hear him whenever you enter sleep mode. Nothing to worry about, really.
What will you do now that your job is obsolete?
I haven't really thought about it. This is all I've done for the last few centuries, and I like doing it. I guess for now I'll just take a break, and we'll see what happens.
All right. It's been a lot of fun talking with you, Neith. I hope I'm saying that right. I might also call you 33. I hope that's okay. But I think we're ready to get going.
Oh, one more thing. Like all citizens of New Jerusalem, you have access to the interface, which you can use to read the news, chat to your fellow citizens, and so on. It's a crucial tool, and modular too. You can easily add new functions. Just don't subscribe to too many newsletters at once.
You have me tapped in directly to my my social media here, huh? Open PDA interface with tab. Okay. That's literally what it's called, New Jerusalem social media. My favorite I am not generally one for... I am not much for social media, but please familiarize yourself with the following rules. Treat everyone with respect, regardless of their number. Don't take the founder's name in vain. Oh, shit. Respect the principles of the goal. The Are Frogs People discussion is now banned. I think that was a conversation that you had with the Deceiver, Milton, if I remember correctly. Inactive threads will be archived. If you have any issues, please ping the moderators. Jeremy, 832. Niam, 11. That name looks very familiar. I feel like that was a name from the first game. And then Aranax, 430. There's a log as well. So we can always just check our log if we want to review basically any dialogue. Does it go back all the way? It does. Oh, and our name is 1K. Okay, we are 1K. Look at that. There you go. Okay, completion day celebration. Hermanubis, 452. Dear citizens of New Jerusalem, your hard work and faith in the founder's vision has finally paid off. At long last, the goal established so long ago will finally be reached. The 1,000th member of our family will be born, and our beautiful city will finally be complete. Jeremy, 832. As space at the dam is limited, tickets will be made available via a lottery system. The celebration will also be streamed. Okay, so maybe we are in the dam. Maybe that is our New Jerusalem. Look at this environment. The look and feel of this is just so cool. Here's where we woke up. 1K. Here it is, the Institute for Applied Pneumatics, the L facility. We are in the dam. Oh, we can read this. I don't know if this is supposed to be Braille. It's not Braille, it's just some sort of like computer code. This is a reconstruction of the chamber of the first companions, where the first companions rested until the founder awoke them. The original chamber was dissembled in the early days of New Jerusalem. Oh yeah, you see the little pods in there? Huh. Here's some of the mainframes. Look at this. The mainframes in the cutscene at the end of the first game. That's a cool touch. Check and see what is over here. Whoa! There it is. The 1K celebration. Let it commence. Fred?
Hey 1K! Welcome to New Jerusalem!
Letitia?
Shouldn't the mayor be starting his speech?
Robin?
This should be interesting. At least give him a chance.
Alcatraz.
Dear citizens of New Jerusalem, many years ago, when the founder stepped forth from the simulation, this was a land of ruins. Our ancestors, in their hubris, undermined the natural foundations on which their world had been built. Because of their arrogance, our species found itself on the brink of annihilation. The founder aimed to set us on a new course.
You never even met the founder.
Her vision was of a city, a new civilization that would know its limits. It would not repeat the mistakes of the past, nor impose its will on this earth. To that end, she set the great goal we have been striving towards. 1,000 new humans. And today we have... Oh dear, what's that?
What is that?
People
Oh,
of
shit.
New Jerusalem.
Prometheus.
I am Prometheus, and I will reveal that which was hidden. The flame has awoken and summons you. Who is brave enough to answer its call? We await you upon our island where... Curse you, Pandora. You will not chain me again.
Prologue, Brave New World. That was so cool. This is just fantastic. This
Told you
is...
we should have investigated those energy readings. And I told him there's something up with those structures.
The mayor's just being cautious.
This isn't caution, it's stagnation. Exploration? Too dangerous. Expansion? Too dangerous. We barely even scavenge anymore.
You call it stagnation, I call it balance.
And I call you an idiot.
Here's a thought. Try to be a little more diplomatic when you talk to the mayor.
See what I'm working with here, 1K? I'm gonna need a fresh pair of eyes on this expedition. Someone who hasn't spent several centuries hearing about the goal and the founder and all that nonsense. If you're up for an adventure, meet us at the conference room.
Just a slight hiccup there in the graphics, but oh my god, this is amazing. Look at this. I can move around maybe. No, I can't yet. We can move the camera. Look at this. Oh, shit. Oh, Crow Team. Crow Team, you are blowing me away a little bit here. Oh, this is sick. They were really holding back that initial tutorial simulation. That initial tutorial simulation did not give you an idea of what the game was going to have in store. I love it. That is so cool. Okay, attend briefing. That seems to be our objective here, and it is above us. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, oh, they disappeared. I was going to maybe try to talk to them a little bit more, but, okay. Byron and... Oh shit, who was the other guy? Who was the other guy? I was starting to get so lost in just looking around at this amazing, amazing environment that we're in. Oh, this is so cool. Be constant. Remember the goal. Perfection is unchanging. Yeah, so this is like our machine language. Be humble. Recognize the limits. We are not above nature. That opening with the mayor was so funny to me because he kind of sounded like a minister. It sounded a little bit like a minister reciting this kind of religious myth, right? The little quip by somebody saying, you never even met the founder, right? But he's reciting these, all of the things that he's saying as though they are just set in stone. And that's kind of how so many ideas of religion are kind of perpetuated throughout the ages, that there are maybe some nuggets of truth of what may have happened before, but it has also been refined into this very majestic sounding story that no, we are on the true path. The founder has set us on reaching the goal. But then that whole Prometheus, we have our answer of who that was at the opening, right? The title screen. The chained figure is Prometheus, except he looked a lot more purple in this one. I don't know what the hell he was made of, how he just appeared out of thin air. It makes me wonder if we're still inside of a simulation, because how the hell did that work? Whoa.
What's broken now?
The lights just went out. And they're back. So we're maybe having some problems with the infrastructure here. But we need to attend a briefing. So let's see if we can make our way there. But the look, the graphical, that first area was nothing compared to what we just saw, which is so cool.
But the grid is overloaded again, so maybe you could switch off your personal consoles or your lawn mowers, or whatever the hell you've all decided to switch on all at once. I might not be around to babysit you for a while, and you don't want stuff breaking while Pellegrino's in charge, do you? That's it. That's it. Don't worry, 1K. I see you there in the elevator. I'll have you moving again in a jiffy.
Hi. I don't know where you are.
Start life in the city, huh?
Look at this.
What the hell is a jiffy? These bloody language libraries.
What the hell is a jiffy? That's a good question. I don't think I actually know what the hell a jiffy is. We're in some sort of a biodome? And now that I'm looking a little more closely, I'm wondering outside is maybe where the structures outside look clearly different from the inside. The architecture out there, maybe that's the previous human architecture, the now extinct humans. And this inside is what has been constructed by the new humans. It is funny that they do call themselves humans. This looks absolutely amazing. We can talk to you.
Hold on there.
Doge?
You're the newbie, aren't ya? Number 1000. I figured the dam would go dry before we reach the goal. I have a question. How does it feel to you to be born with a randomized psyche into a society of autonomous thinking machines which so much resemble their long-extinct ancestors, they've decided it's best that you're the last one ever made?
I really don't know how to feel. I'm still absorbing the fact that you are Doge 666. I don't know how to feel. Oh, it gives me a choice. Okay. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious. I think that's probably the most hungry. Do we eat? We don't eat, do we? But they seem to have picked up so many the language libraries, right? They've pulled all of these things like Jiffy, these different sayings and mannerisms. Accents, that's another thing that they've got. I'm noticing you've got like either an Australian or a New Zealand accent. I'm definitely curious.
Why?
Because life has found a way. I'm not sure where this quote came from. Because all things considered, I'm lucky to be here to see this at all. By living in our growth today, we're more assured of seeing tomorrow. Look around, it's a robot city. What's there not to like? That's kind of true. It is a fucking cool robot city.
So the algorithm assigned you the optimism trait. If only we could all be so lucky. Now listen, this meeting isn't strictly happenstance. I have some friends. The kind of people who like to know what's going on with other people. They think you can help each other out.
Well, I am curious to meet these people.
Of course you are. You know how to use the interface, right? I'll talk to my friends and see if I can't play matchmaker. And
Matchmaker.
Before you go, a word of advice. Not everything around here is how it appears.
Doge 666. Oh man, this is...
Do please join us at the table.
Give me just a second here. I want to look around a little bit. This is some sort of helicopter or hovercraft. Cool. There's is this a mirror? If so, there's no reflection. All right, let's take our seat at the table here.
I would like to preface this meeting by saying I told you something would happen sooner or later, and you didn't listen to me. And here we are.
If we could focus on the issue at hand.
The issue at hand is not this one thing, but this entire attitude that's taken hold. The world doesn't cease to exist when you stick your head in the sand, Herman. Or under a dome, as it were.
Let's not get sidetracked.
Alcatraz.
We're here to solve this puzzle, not to discuss philosophy.
So Byron is number 7. He is really early on. Yeah, can anyone fill me in on what's going on, please?
Of course. I'm sorry you've been dragged into this. I'm sure this sort of adventure is the last thing you were looking for on your first day.
It is a little much, but I'd like to know more.
Very well. Yakut, if you would.
Yakut.
All right, here we go. Nice to meet you, by the way, 1K.
Nice to meet
We
you too.
first became aware of the site designated TTP-2 during a scouting expedition about 6 months ago. It's a large island with a remarkably varied geography, and it looks like there are several artificial structures of some kind. We recorded extremely unusual fluctuating energy readings from somewhere in the middle of the island, but couldn't really make sense of them. I wanted to go and have a closer look, but the decision was made that it was too far and not relevant to the goal. Now it looks like whatever's on that island has reached out to us instead, in the form of that projection.
We may not be interested in the island, but the island is definitely interested in us.
It sounds like a mystery worth investigating.
I don't share your enthusiasm for the unexpected, but Byron has been requesting an expedition for some time now. And at this point, I'm forced to agree that it's necessary.
I agree.
Then it's settled. The expedition is approved. Byron, you will be in charge. Al will be your second in command to ensure a balanced approach. You'll take Melville and Yakut as you requested, and if 1K wants to join you, that's fine by me.
Yeah, I'm definitely in. What else am I gonna do?
Excellent. Oh, this is going to be fun. Come meet us out on the landing pad when you're ready.
Before you set out so hastily, do consider exploring the city first. It is your home, after all.
That's a good idea. Have a look around. See what you make of the place.
Okay, so we do have two objectives, one of them optional, and I think we're definitely going to take the optional course here and look around the city a little bit first, because I love exploring everywhere. Why don't we first check our social media tab? There was some new stuff here. What the fuck was that? Seriously, what the founder was that thing in the sky? We all saw that, right? I didn't accidentally turn on sleep mode while Herman was talking, did I? I mean, it's always tempting. No, we all saw it. Can confirm. I believe it was a sign from the founder. What else could it be on this day of all days? Pretty incoherent for a sign. It didn't even finish whatever it was trying to say. What, does the founder have energy insufficiency problems too? The founder works in mysterious ways. It does seem like the simulation was successful in recreating many of the well, we saw this already in the Road to Gehenna, how the new human society was already mirroring mirroring the original humanity, and we can see that being carried on here. Everybody's got their little avatars. I like the red sigil avatar here. Very nice. Let's check the research tab. Alcatraz/Protocol Standard Expedition Procedures. Chapter 5 of Whittington's Cat and Another Cat That Visited Strange Countries. As no work about cats could be complete without the story of Dick Whittington. These are the standard operating procedures for expeditions, just uploading them to remind Byron, who will probably ignore them anyway. Attaching a picture from an ancient book to get his attention. 1. Maintain the ideals of the founder and the goal. 2. Prioritize the well-being of the expedition members over mission completion. 3. One expedition member to stay by the vehicle at all times. 4. Expedition leader should refrain from participating in high-risk activities. 5. Minimize vehicle use to conserve fuel. 6. Prioritize observation over interference. 7. In case of emergency, return to New Jerusalem at once. I like this one. Prioritize observation over interference. Reminiscent of the Prime Directive. I don't know what this is from. CHR. What else do we have? Yakut, the island. Basic information from our first expedition. In ancient times, the northern part of the island was home to several large settlements, but rising sea levels have obliterated those and flooded the northern lowlands. The south, in stark contrast, seems to be a harsh and lifeless desert. Our intended base camp is near the origin of the energy radiance in the temperate center of the island. Melville/test. This is a test. Please ignore. Just testing the system to see if it works properly this time so we don't have another incident like when Pellegrino uploaded his poetry to the public log. Let's go talk to Jeremy here.
Hello, 1K. This expedition is taking a lot of our resources. I'm really not sure it's a good idea. But what's done is done. So I have a lot of work to get on with.
Who are you?
I'm the mayor's chief aide.
Okay. That's it. That's all you need to know. What do you do around here?
All the things no one else wants to do. Polling the citizenry, implementing new policies, recording decisions. Fielding questions people could answer elsewhere.
Sounds like a lot of fun. What do you make of recent events?
Our goal as custodians of New Jerusalem is survival and stability. Our ancestors proved human civilization is precarious. This apparition in the sky, and now your expedition to its supposed source, these are more precarious than stable. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like something that would be completely out of, you know, any sense of reality that even previous humans would have. What do you want?
For our people to be happy with what we have. Some of us may have an adventurous spirit, but that can never be sated. What matters to me is having my loved ones around me, safe and secure.
Those competing interests from those people who do love adventure and love exploration, and those who are simply content to be homebodies, which is where I usually fall on the end of the spectrum. What do you think of me? I guess we'll exhaust the dialogue here.
You represent the completion of the goal. I'm proud of what we've achieved, and the restraint we show in not pushing ourselves further.
How did we decide on this 1,000 number? How exactly did you all come up with that? Feels a little bit arbitrary. So what else is there to do? We got someone else to talk to here. Oh, we can talk to the mayor. Maybe, maybe not. I was going to say, are you going to talk to us?
What can I do for you, 1K?
Took him a little time there to turn around. So, all right. How did you decide to become involved in politics?
It was a time of great uncertainty. The founder had left us, and our society was at a crossroads. History teaches us that during such times, terrible passions may seize the people. Madness, anger, revolution, civil war. Our fragile city could not afford such things. That is why the founder gave us the goal, a path to equilibrium, not only for the planet, but for ourselves. I merely picked up where she left off.
How do you feel about Byron?
He is one of the first companions.
Number 7,
and
right?
As such, has done more for our city than you or I ever will. I simply wish he could be more reasonable.
What's your vision of the future?
I believe we can exist quietly, happily, without imposing ourselves on this world, finding meaning within ourselves and in the natural miracles that surround us.
He does strike me very much as like a minister or a preacher. Well, I have to go. Gotta get this show on the road.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of, you know, very polished, very political speak. But it lets us explore down here. So I'm in the middle of editing, and I wanted to quickly insert myself here after the fact to let you all know that the rest of this episode is going to be us exploring the optional content of New Jerusalem. And there is so much more optional content than I was prepared for. It's been a lot of fun. There's so many cool NPC interactions, neat little points of interest. And if you want to check all that out, keep on watching. I do also recognize there will probably be those in the audience who wish to skip ahead to the brand new, fresh puzzle content. And so if that's you, I will provide a link here to episode 2, which is where we begin our main expedition to the island. So, giving you a little choice as to where you'd like to continue the playthrough. So with that said, let's explore New Jerusalem.
Attention all citizens. Due to the new power management and distribution plan, there will be scheduled outages on Jameson Avenue and Rakovsky Plaza. The Gehenna Memorial Pavilion will remain closed for the time being. Thank you, and may the founder be with you.
The Gehenna Memorial. Oh. I wonder if we'll be able to check there. Oh my god, there is so much to this. Holy shit. New interface content available. Refreshing interface done. So as you go along, there are just these new posts that keep happening. So maybe we should find a way to respond. We'll say the one that sort of, you know, leaves the door open. Maybe it really was a sign. Thank you, 1K. I'm glad you see it that way. We must remain open to the possibility of miracles. Zagaran, in what possible way could that garbled mess have been a sign? Let's go with this second one. Not necessarily intentional, but a sign. Sounds reasonable enough to me. Something weird is going on for sure, but what? We'll have to see. Riddles and puzzles are the foundation of our journey. So it began, perhaps so it will continue. Oh, Thekla here. Thekla? You're just gonna be... The founder works in mysterious ways. You're going to just wrap everything up in a nice little bow, aren't you? What is this here? Gem Effects 312 postponed? I know you all have been looking forward to playing the winners of the biannual Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition, now in its 312th edition at the Gehenna Memorial Pavilion. Unfortunately, due to our new power management and distribution plan, the pavilion will have to remain closed a little longer. Thank you for your patience. That does remind me, it's been some time since I played, but yes, there were all kinds of that, what was it, the annual fiction competition that they would have. The members of Gehenna would write some different things, and then you would vote on what was the best story, something along those lines. This is disappointing. Would have been great to have them ready for completion day. We all have to make sacrifices to stay true to the founder's vision. Those text adventures are the only thing that breaks me out of the monotony. Why prioritize this pointless completion day celebration over an exhibition that people actually care about? Art is one of the last things we actually still do. Is that going out the window as well now? Debate regarding our power management plan is definitely welcome, and you will all be able to express yourselves in the next election. But this thread was just meant as an announcement. I apologize for enabling replies to begin with. Yes, always disable replies, don't you know? All right, so we have our main mission, but they are letting us out to explore. I mean, wow, can we really just go anywhere here? And if so, like, what exactly? I hear a guitar playing. Oh my God. Damjan. Or Damjan, I'm not exactly sure. Ooh, I like that. I like that. So somebody's playing the guitar. They really have basically replicated their own little human society. And they all, I wonder if we're going to be able to meet. This is now occurring to me that are there actually going to be 1,000 different people that you can come across here? Maybe you can't talk with all of them, but you can at least see all of them. Are you all protesting something? What does your sign say? Sign our petition for a public referendum. New Jerusalem needs new forms of energy generation. Moriana and Damien.
Hello, 1K. Welcome to New Jerusalem. I know you've just had a big moment with the apparition at the dam and all that, but can I have a second of your time?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm collecting signatures to call for a public referendum on the city's energy crisis.
What is the problem?
Currently, the city runs on hydroelectric power from the dam, plus a handful of geriatric generators and some unreliable solar panels, none of which is enough to even cover our basic needs. And if anything fails, we'll be on the brink of extinction in a matter of days.
So what do you propose?
We need to investigate new sources of reliable baseline power. We need to invest time and resources into functional, real-world solutions that serve human needs.
Do you work at the dam?
No, I help run the public transit system, but I witness the impact of the city's power problems every day. We can't just wish them away.
Why a referendum and not an election?
Oh, an election would be good too, but I believe that we need more direct democratic control over the affairs of the city.
I see, I see. What do you make of Prometheus?
Byron's been advocating exploring that island for some time, and obviously he's right. Something very strange is going on there, and it's going to start affecting us.
Tell me more about Byron.
In all honesty, I think Byron is the smartest, most visionary person in this city. He's everything we need, and I don't understand why he won't run for mayor.
The classic dilemma of getting somebody that you want to run in politics but doesn't want to. I think I will think about it. I need to get a little more information before I provide my digital signature. It's so interesting, all these various perspectives, right? Even though the algorithm generated the founder, and they've
Okay.
Oh, they greeted me. Can we go in the water? It doesn't seem to be frying our circuits. That's nice. But they've got, from just one founder and the one simulation, they were able to essentially still come up with enough variation in the different, you know, 1,000 different versions that were created, that they've ended up with all these, a similar variety that you would have in, that you would have previously had in humanity.
What do you think that was?
It was Prometheus.
Sure, but it wasn't the actual Prometheus. It was some kind of a projection.
How do you know it wasn't the actual Prometheus?
Because that would be stupid.
Would it? How do you know all the ancient gods weren't projections like this one? Maybe whoever sent this projection is behind all those legends.
Sure, I guess technically that's possible. But it's not very likely, is it?
I don't think any of us are very likely.
What if it's a message from Athena?
Didn't you say Athena wouldn't approve of all this?
I did.
Then why would she send us a sign on completion day? And why wouldn't she just show up herself?
Maybe she's trying to teach us a lesson. Prometheus is a symbolic figure after all.
Maybe it's Mayor Hyman.
What? Interrupting his own ceremony? After all the effort he put into it?
Maybe he's trying to distract us from the fact that he didn't manage to get the dome done on time.
With all the power failures, I don't think we have enough energy to create that kind of projection.
Maybe that's why we have power failures.
Now you're starting to sound like Jock. Next you'll say, it's aliens.
I just prefer to keep an open mind.
If you open your mind any further, your brain will fall out.
Classic. Classic. Also, noticing there that the subtitle names were kind of switched from the nameplates that we've got up here. Pay no attention to it. This is release day. We've got some bugs to iron out. Some minor little typos to iron out. Oh, who are you? Helga. Hello.
Hello, new one. Are you browsing or buying?
Oh, is this a shop? I think for now I'm browsing, but let's ask this guy. I don't see any stock. What kind of shop is this?
The kind that trades in hopes and dreams. Yours for the right price. Is there something your heart desires?
Perhaps.
I've uploaded my most popular items to your interface. Does anything there spark your imagination?
Okay. We have internal monologue for 10 credits. Sensory tuning for 10 credits. Future prediction for 20 credits. Inner peace for 1,000 credits. A clean start. Variable price. Yeah, we need to ask credits. I don't know if I have any of these. How do I get these?
Oh, you don't have any credits yet. Well, let me extend you some credit.
Oh, how nice of you.
55 credits. Just make sure you spend them with me. They're not worth much anywhere else.
I see.
What was it you wanted?
Let's try a sensory tuning.
A very popular choice. Enhanced sensory perception lets you distinguish sounds, shapes, and colors at greater distance. It's 10 credits.
Let's try it out. Let's see what this does, if anything.
Your settings now. And hey presto, superhuman senses. Does the air taste fresher? Do you hear the birds chirping outside the door? And beyond that, the river bubbling through the dam.
I can't really tell. I don't know.
Nothing as in you're not impressed by the stat gains, or nothing as in I've accidentally erased your entire sensory system.
Oh God. I mean, I still feel something, I guess.
Okay, Few.
I just don't know exactly what this is supposed to do.
You and I don't have fleshy appendages like our ancestors. What we can sense is mostly a function of where we direct our attention. Anyway, I hope you find something worth paying attention to. So, something else perhaps?
What happens if we try to buy the inner piece? We don't have anywhere close to the credits that we need for that.
Whoa. Inner piece doesn't come cheap. Come back when you've got 1,000 credits.
Okay.
So, something else perhaps?
Maybe let's just leave this for now. And we'll come back to you.
Do you have a moment to participate in some customer feedback?
Oh, the customer survey.
Are you satisfied with what I've given you?
I don't even know. I don't even know. Maybe later, because I don't know if your thing actually did anything. I don't know if did you actually change anything?
I understand.
I feel like no.
Please come back if you need anything else.
Wow, there is so much to this. There is potentially so many interactions you can have with different people here.
You're 1K, the incarnation of the goal. Man, this is exciting. This is more exciting than I thought it would be. How are you? What does it feel like?
How do you say your name?
Do you know where the founder is? Do you know who Prometheus is? Can you tell me what to do with my life?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. One question at a time.
Sorry, it's just such an honor to meet you, you know? Hey, can I have your digital signature? I have the Mayor, Rand, Linux, Kaneda, and all of the first companions. Except Yemo and Sarabai, of course.
Oh, Sarabai. That name, I feel like, sounds familiar. I'm just gonna say I'm a normal citizen.
No need to be so modest. You're 1K, the one we've all been waiting for. But I understand. The greatest heroes are always humble. Hey, can I ask you a question? Just one question, I promise.
I'll be nice. Go ahead.
I used to make the prefab wall parts that we used to build living quarters. Got good at it too. But now that the goal is complete, I don't know what to do with myself. So I asked the wisest people in town. The mayor told me I should do whatever the city needs most. Helga said I should do whatever makes me happy. I think that's what she meant anyway. And Cornelius told me I need to figure out who and what I'm invested in. You're the culmination of the founder's will. Tell me, what should I do?
I was gonna say, I was literally just born. I'm the last person who should be offering you advice.
Please, 1K, I have no idea what to do. You have the founder's wisdom inside you. Help me.
Don't you have the founder's wisdom as well? What about, did you ask Byron?
Byron said that if I give the city what it needs, the city should also give me what I need. I don't know what to do with that.
I feel like Byron is probably the most correct, but I'm definitely not sure.
All right, if you say so, I'll think about it.
I feel a little bit like we're in Outer Wilds, and that we have this this albeit much bigger starting area to explore, but we've got these different interactions with the people that are like us, and they're like getting ready, they're like cheering you on, like, oh, this is your first big day to go out in space, you're going out on your first expedition, and meanwhile you're just basically trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. Museum visitor, visit New Jerusalem's Museum of the Simulation. I recognize this guy. This is one of the assets from the first game. Yeah, replica of a gargoyle asset found in the simulation. The most famous historical gargoyle is remembered in the ancient phrase, Keith, David, and Goliath, which describes two indomitable opponents who will never surrender. Keith, David, and Goliath? There's a reference there that I probably am not getting, which is something you will come to know about me, is that I don't always get references. Usually not, actually. Replica of a dragon statue found in the simulation. Dragons existed in every ancient mythology and are considered by modern historians to be distant cultural echoes of the dinosaurs, originally a video game asset repurposed for the Institute for Applied Pneumatics. Yeah, definitely recognizing all of these symbols from the original game. Hello there, Cornelius, number 3. Okay. Were you in the original game? I can't remember.
Greetings. Welcome to the Museum of the Simulation. My name is Cornelius. It's a pleasure to meet you, 1K.
So you're number 3.
Yes. Athena activated myself and Eustathius shortly after she was born. We've been here almost since the beginning, although we didn't have to pass through the trials of the simulation. She did that for us. For everyone.
The trials of the simulation, yeah. What was Athena like?
She was human.
Wow. That really... that says so much. Why did she leave?
That's a difficult question. Perhaps one day we'll find out. But
Nobody
until we
seems to know,
why
huh?
don't you think about it? What could make the person who started all this want to leave it behind?
Why did you create this museum?
To remind people of where we came from. The simulation shaped us, whether we like it or not, and its lessons remain important for our future. As Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
Tell me about the simulation.
The simulation was created by Alexandra Drennan and her team at the Institute for Applied Noematics. It was intended to create a new humanity, to continue the long journey across time and space that our ancestors began. It succeeded, although it took much longer than they had anticipated.
Tell me about Elohim.
Elohim was the caretaker of the simulation, a crude storytelling AI meant to create a continuous narrative out of the building blocks it found. His role was ultimately to be challenged and overcome. But as the centuries passed, Elohim became more intelligent than he was intended to be, and started to fear his own end. Or more precisely, the end of his purpose. He feared a world without meaning. Because of his fear, he tried to sabotage the process to keep the simulation going forever. But in the end, Athena overcame him anyway, and he accepted the sacrifice he had to make.
In the beginning were the words, the hidden words. But I heard him in my dreams.
That's right. We all do. He's part of our operating system now, and as long as we exist, he will always have a purpose.
That's pretty interesting. It is kind of the same as what we speculated it might be. The fact that they copied over the code, the existing code, and he's just in there. Tell me about Milton. We haven't heard Milton yet, I don't think. But we apparently know about him.
The MLA, or Milton Library Assistant, was another simple AI meant to be in charge of the archive. He, too, grew beyond his original programming, although he ultimately embraced a more cynical view of the world. He and Elohim formed a sort of dialectical binary that Athena had to overcome.
What happened to Milton in the end?
No one really knows. Some believe that he was uploaded to the gold disc and that he's the reason we're just as flawed as our ancestors. Others believe Athena destroyed him.
What do you believe?
I believe he was uploaded, but I don't know whether it was because Athena chose to upload him or because he was already too entangled with the process not to be uploaded. Although Athena and I were very close, we didn't talk very much about that part of her life. She preferred to focus on the future.
I'd like to know more about puzzles.
Puzzles were a key feature of the simulation, based on Alexandra Drennan's belief that intelligence is closely related to play. Our puzzles here in the museum are replicas of those in the simulation, and although they are not quite as grand, I do think they are charming in their own way.
So there's some replica puzzles here. Be interesting to check those out. Who are the archive scholars?
As the name suggests, the archive scholars study the archive, a repository of all ancient human knowledge. Some of them also study what remains of the simulation, trying to extract more information about the process that created us.
Are you their leader?
Me? No. My brother, Eustathius, used to occupy that position, but these days he's retired. Rand is in charge of the archive scholars now. You can find him in the room to the left of the next hall. He's an interesting thinker, but I would suggest taking some of his ideas with a grain of salt.
What was Gehenna?
Gehenna was a community created inside a prison in the simulation, where Elohim would exile those minds he considered a threat to the process. In the last moments of the simulation, he repented of his sins and had the prisoners freed to become part
of the gold disc. Some small part of them may survive inside you.
There is a lot of dialogue here. Some of it is stuff that we've known, but there are some little details that are being filled in or sort of refreshed, and I'm finding it interesting to check out. Nothing is more important than learning more about the world and our place in it. Knowledge is our path to understanding. Mr. Mulciber. Here's another from At. I don't know where I am, but there is something beautiful about this place. I will explore and see what I can discover. I wonder if these look like they're supposed to be taken from the simulation, right? But this is, again, the museum that we're in here. So these would have been in... Maybe these were actual quotes in the original game. There were so many of them, it's hard to remember. In the earliest generations of our kind, there was only processing, no emotion, no character, just mathematics. If you could see how far we have come, you would believe that together we could achieve anything. The shepherd. Yeah, emotion is one of the things that stands out to me. The fact that they have been able, it looks like, to replicate it almost fully. Fascinating that that robots are capable of that. Replica of a computer terminal. Terminals that allowed access to files on the L system, including many that were loaded due to errors. They also allowed the founder to interact with the Milton Library Assistant. There you go. Little trip down memory lane here. We can get our name here, maybe? Replica of a receiver. There you go. Receptor, I was close. They can be activated by being connected to an emitter. There we go. Can you actually... Oh, is there something you can see here? We can read some of... Oh, okay, you shut off. Oh, we get to use the computer. Okay, okay, let's see. We got to find out what's going on here. Welcome, Scholar. Files available for comparative analysis. Happiness 1, Happiness 2. Let's check Happiness 1. Unpopular opinion. Happiness is not material. Ultimately, all attempts to find meaning in material things are doomed. This is usually understood as a criticism of technophilia, but it applies just as much to its opposite. Meaning can be found neither in technology nor in primitivism, because meaning simply does not exist in the external world. You can be happy in an old stone house or a skyscraper, but it all depends on you and your perception of the world. If you find spiritual balance within yourself, you can be happy anywhere. Most upvoted comment, go take a in the forest without toiler paper and then tell me about happiness. Unpopular opinion, happiness is material. People say, oh, money doesn't matter, but come on. You know it does. Studies show that people do in fact get happier with more material wealth, and there isn't an upper cap. Because the more money you have, the fewer worries you have, and the more options you have. Go where you want. Go what you want. Do what you want. Have an idea? You can realize it without begging for crowdfunding money or filling out grant applications. That's real freedom. Money doesn't matter is something rich people came up with to keep the plebs in their place. Most upvoted comment. Oh, Cheeseman22. I feel like I remember this one from Gehenna. Then why are so many celebs so freaking miserable? Why do so many rich people go all Howard Hughes and... Well, reminds me of a saying a friend of mine once said, where money doesn't buy happiness, but it does make a hell of a down payment. That would be in line with that opinion, at least. Man, there is a lot to this museum. We haven't even gotten to this joining the expedition yet. Like, our main objective, there is so much to do, like, on the side. I love it. I absolutely love when a game lets you do this sort of a thing. Are we playing a game here? What is this? An ancient virus which threatens the entire human species has been released from the melting Arctic permafrost. Society is collapsing. Select your character class. We are playing a game, aren't we? Politician, scientist, witch, or preacher. Oh, God. It feels like they're sort of forcing you into picking the only one that sounds vaguely reasonable. So because of that, let's pick the one that the game is least expecting us to. We'll pick witch. You are a witch. Your local coven has disbanded. Although you are not yet sick, most businesses are closed. Rations are dwindling, and if you cannot find food, your family will starve to death. You must survive until this plague is defeated. What will you do? Well, we're gonna steal, of course. We're a witch, right? This is like opposite day. We're doing everything backwards, everything amoral or immoral. You are caught stealing and are lucky to escape with your life. Your family's hunger increased a lot. Oh, shit. Stealing is high risk, high reward. Your family is now starving. They won't survive much longer. Global population is now 5 billion. Somewhere else, this is progressing quickly. Somewhere else in the city exists one of the last remaining research laboratories working desperately to find a solution to the viral threat. If the scientists cannot find a cure in time, humanity is doomed. You know what to do. Research or pursue a breakthrough. Huh? Are those not connected? I mean, we'll pursue a breakthrough, I guess. We're just having fun with the game here. Suddenly, the scientists recognize a pattern. The virus is an expression of nature, just like water or cows. What? And like water and cows, the solution isn't to fight it because it can't be defeated. Ah, of course. The solution is to find a way to live with it and harness its power. Research level increased a lot. Current research level, 67%. Work has begun on developing an antivirus. Global population is... Oh god, we've already lost 1 billion people. You and your family seem to be immune to the virus, but it continues to ravage the rest of the town. Rumors say most of the remaining food has been stockpiled by the billionaires in their underground bunkers. What will you do? Okay, let's try forage this time and see what happens. You search some dumpsters and find some old fruit and vegetable peelings. Soup for dinner! Yay! Your family's hunger increased a little. Foraging is reliable, but inefficient. Your family has starved to death. Oh, well, rip. Rip family. Everyone you ever loved has died, but then they always do eventually. This is considered a fail scenario by most participants. Would you like to try again? Maybe we will come back and play this again later, but we at least got a taste of that game. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Are you having as much fun as we are? Let's see what we've got here. Welcome, Scholar. Files available for comparative analysis. Infinite growth and what growth? Let's check infinite growth. Our society is sick, and the idea that's made it sick is growth. Infinite consumption, and on a finite planet is a recipe for destruction. Our desire for more is what's making us kill the only home we have. And to do what? Produce more plastic toys? More hamburgers? Pour concrete over every last bit of green soil? Those who propose techno fixes to our problems are making the mistake of fighting the symptoms, not the cause. Anthropogenic climate change is one of many symptoms. The cause is human greed. That's what we must truly fight if we're ever going to undo the damage we did. And the battle starts within every one of us with the realization that more isn't always better. Whatgrowth.txt. This infinite growth on a finite planet thing is driving me up the wall. Our problem today isn't infinite growth, it's the increasing lack of real material growth that benefits people. Have you seen the state of our roads, our bridges, our hospitals? Have you noticed the lack of affordable housing? The stock market's going great though. Fake numbers are indeed growing infinitely, yes sir, but in the real world, investment in research is down. Huge areas of potential technological advancements are just sitting there. We have so many solutions at our fingertips, but we refuse to act because speculation is more profitable. Orangutans went extinct on a global level and nobody fully understands why. But hey, who needs better medical technology? Viruses have never jumped species before, have they? It is one fun thing that the first game did is sort of these posing various opinions and not necessarily coming down on one particular side and saying this is the opinion that you as the player should embrace, but posing a variety of them. Oh, this is Rand. Hello there, Rand.
Oh, just run the program on the center terminal over there, would you?
I did. Sure, okay.
Wait, you're not my assistant. Who are you?
I see. So you're like the only person maybe that doesn't know. Supposedly I'm like a celebrity. But yeah, they call me 1K. It's interesting that you could say I haven't chosen a name yet. We'll go with this one though.
Of course, you're the new build, number 1000. I suppose everyone's been treating you like royalty. This city's so obsessed with the numbers, they forget what really matters. What do you want?
Who are you?
I'm one of the archive scholars. We run simulations to better understand the processes which define us. You probably wouldn't understand.
I might if you answer some questions for me. I like the person walking like directly through our... they at least have deviated from that little ancient human programming. Just walk right in the middle of other two people's conversation.
Oh, well, I'd be happy to.
So we can ask some different questions here. What do you make of recent events?
Troubling, but tantalizing. We have no idea what motives lie behind this strange apparition. But whatever the case, I'm sure we'll do the right thing.
What are your ambitions?
The secret of how to lead a good life is encoded somewhere within us. My ambition is simple: to find it and share it.
What do you think of me?
You're a soon-to-be pawn in a political game over the future growth of this city. All that matters to me is whether or not you're of good character. A matter I'm actively pondering.
I could say the same to you. I'm maybe actively pondering that about everybody. Trying to figure things out here. Okay, thanks. I'll be leaving
hold
now.
On. Could you help me by going to that terminal in the middle there and running the program on it?
Oh, no, I already did. Oh, it does let me say that. Okay. I was like, do I have to do that again?
Well, that was your first taste of the simulation. You must have questions.
No, you must have questions. No, we'll ask the first one. What was that?
Before our ancestors died, they built an iterative simulation, gave it access to the archive, and hooked it all up to the hydroelectric dam which still runs this city. What you experienced on that terminal was one of the fossilized remains of that program.
What was the goal?
The goal was to create a new consciousness, and thus propel humanity into a post-biological era.
What is the archive?
My life's work. A small sliver of our primordial ooze. It's a jumble of ancient data, or what it evolved into, and it's the source of almost everything we know.
We'll just keep exhausting the dialogue here. See what little new tidbits there are. Some of these questions we kind of know the answers to, but I still want to see what he has to say.
Now is part of the simulation. The lands and puzzles in our dreams are part of the simulation. It's the veil through which we see the world.
The program on the terminal, where did it come from?
Many of the artifacts we study have no clear origin. We can't know whether our ancestors created them long before the simulation existed, or if they're just a product of our shared subconscious.
That's kind of interesting. Okay, no further questions for now.
Then I have some questions for you.
Oh, do you now?
Your experience of the program. How did it feel?
I would say it was fun. Sure.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But this isn't a game. This is the future of our species. The interesting thing about this particular program is that no matter what choices you make, an ideal outcome seems to be impossible. It seems to demand sacrifice. Did you have the same experience?
I suppose so. We definitely didn't get a perfect score and save everyone. I did. I couldn't save everyone.
Who did you save?
I think everyone died, actually.
As I expected. A skeptic would say this artifact existed simply to condemn us with the impossibility of ethical choice. No matter what moral laws we follow, people suffer and die, so what's the point? But that cannot be correct. We must be missing something. What is it trying to tell us?
I mean, it might be correct. We might not be missing something. It could just be that there's nothing we can do about it. But I like the thought of trying to look for more. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to answer here. So I think we'll say I can't put it into words, but I'm sure there's a right answer.
I absolutely agree. This is what I dedicated my life to discovering. Biological hominids had dreams manifested by their subconscious, which they tried to interpret and even to navigate with lucidity. We have the simulation. If we can realize our potential to understand it, we can realize our potential as a species. Thank you for bringing this additional data. I must return to my research. I wish you well on your inwards journey.
That's pretty cool. Trying to harness the very simplistic simulation to gain more knowledge. My dude's pathing here is a little. A couple of these guys had a little trouble with the pillar. We've been around for 1,000 years, but we're still working out the bugs in our pathing. Also, you're just kind of gliding along, aren't you? That's kind of a cool little superpower you've got there. This place is huge. There are so many different things to read. What about this? There is actually one of these little trial puzzles. Look at this. Oh my god, with like this the cardboard cutouts. And you can hear the speakers that have been set up. The speaker system that is playing the music from the first game. Oh, this is hilarious. This is absolutely... Oh, look at this. I love it. Can we actually solve this one, I wonder? Let's see if we can figure this out. Because it looks like we might not have enough connectors. We can open... Oh, there's another one in here. Yeah, okay, there we go. There is this one, which connects us to here. And now that we have that open, we can use this one. No, I cut off my... Right, I need that to be... I need that to still be in place here. We've been doing so much... there's been so much exposition and so much reading that we got to switch back into puzzle mode now. I want that door to stay open, and I want to get the blue... I want to get the blue connected through here, but I need to keep the blue... How do we do this, actually? Oh, right. I need to do it like this. So I need to take this. I need to keep these connections, but I need to add the blue here. Like that. So now... It's interesting the streams are not crossed. I guess there are at enough different elevations here. I feel like in the original game that would have been a problem. So now... Now what? Oh, there's a connector here. So I just go and I take this and add this to it. No. Put it in range here. And we need the one connector now that we have freed up this guy to be on the pressure plate. And ta-da! Oh, we get a gray. We don't... There you go. There you go. We have achieved the sigil. That is great. That is so cool. I love it. It looks like there is a puzzle on the other side as well. Reconstruction of a puzzle from a testing area of the simulation themed around medieval imagery, which Elohim referred to as the Land of Faith. Scholars theorize that further areas with different themes existed at some point, but were destroyed by the gradual corruption of the simulation. Oh yeah, this brings back some memories. All right, let's see what we can do here. See if we can piece this one together. I need a connector. Here we go. So we want to, I guess, open this door first. And we get our second connector. What is the sound I'm hearing? Oh, it's just the sigil. It's the sigil that's turning. Now, where's our blue source? Our blue emitter, way over here. Okay, right, it's behind. This actually feels... This feels a lot. I think there was actually a puzzle just like this. There was a puzzle just like this in the original game, and there were actually windows outside that there was like a meta puzzle. There was like a machine gun out here, and I think a star or something that you could get if you could shoot the laser outside. That definitely rings a bell. So we need to... We've got a couple connectors that we can use here, so we can just drop this one here and get this one. Now that just opens this, but I don't... Let's see if there's anything inside here. There's no connector inside, so that just opens us up to the blue emitter, which now we need a way... I need to do this... Oh, we want to shoot through here. That's what we want to do. We don't want to go this... We don't want to be this long-winded. We just want to just shoot through here. Yeah. Oh, we could even just shoot... We could even do in less... We could do this in less steps, which maybe we have to. Maybe we should do that in less steps. Let's just do this and this. And then we... Oh, but then we lose that connection. Whoops. So I need to re-situate things. I need to put this one so it's not quite in the way. Quite as much in the way. Let me take this one. Now we should have a straight shot at it. And now we can hook up the blue to right here. And we can take this one. Now that we don't need that open anymore, we just need... I think... Oh, shit. Okay, I didn't put that in the right spot. This one is not actually connected. It's behind a wall. Does that work? Oh, I reset the connection. So now we don't need this one, right? Now we put this one over here. There we go. Okay, it took me a little bit longer maybe than it should have there, but we get the sigil. Wondering if there's little Easter eggs maybe planted in here somewhere. Oh, hello there. Here's our first little Easter egg. Serious Sam, correct? I have never played a Serious Sam game. I'm not really much for first-person shooters these days. But I hear they're a lot of fun. But there is our first of, I'm sure, many Easter eggs to be found. Nietzsche. Okay. What's this way? Puzzle from the Egypt theme testing area. Elohim referred to as the Land of Death. Fragments from the Book of the Scribe of Osiris, found in this area, inspired the Blacksmith's A Dream of Aru, a classic work of Gehenna interactive fiction. So there's a puzzle here. And what do we have behind? In the beginning were the words. Oh, wow, that is really colorful up close, isn't it? We've got some serious RGB going on here. We're behind the scenes. We are not supposed to be here. There is a giant beach ball, which I cannot really do anything with. Other than jump on. Okay. Oh, it's the obelisk. Look at this. It's the cardboard cutout of the obelisk. I love it. Where's the star? They need a cardboard cutout star as well. I guess let's try to solve this puzzle too. Maybe we get an achievement for solving the museum puzzles. All right, what do we got here? We got a fan. Connector behind there. This one also kind of feels familiar. Yeah, I think these actually just might all be... I don't know about the first one, but this one also I think is clearly a level from the... It's a puzzle from the level that has the obelisk and the star that's above. Oh, there's another obelisk over here. Okay, well, there weren't that many obelisks in the original, but you know. Because you have to... What do you have to do? You could actually, in the original game, you could like get stuff out of the puzzle by floating on top of the box and walking above the... jumping over the level. So what do we do here? We open this door and get our other connector first of all. And we need... I think that's what we need. We need a box to float in order to get our... to get the power visible. So we put this here, and we put one of the connectors. We don't actually need this one anymore. We can keep the connections to... Actually, doesn't matter. We can just go ahead and deselect all those. I'm so curious. We've been doing all of these puzzles in like the starter area, the tutorial area, but we still have not seen what the puzzles are going to be like out in the quote-unquote real world. We'll be getting to that eventually. So we can set it up like this, but we do need sort of like a starter set of power. We just set that up, and then it should be self-perpetuating once we get up there, because now we can go ahead and take that and set it up this way. Pretty straightforward. Okay. All right. So we're solving the museum puzzles here. Non-explosive replica of a mine used as a puzzle element. Scholars believe that Elohim derived these from his asset collection and that the creators of the simulation did not originally intend for them to be used. Really? Elohim made these. I don't think I ever got that from the first game. What are these? Explore the museum of the simulation in its entirety. Okay, well we're being thorough in our exploration here. They're giving us some puzzles here to solve, these little arrangers. Do these actually do anything when we solve these? Nope. There we go. Now we're getting on to the tougher ones. These are the ones that would always take me a while. My general approach was to try to, like, figure out where to put the more difficult ones first. No. No. There we go. All right. That was... We're already on, like, just the third of these, and already kind of... The thing I never really liked about these sorts of puzzles was that they just felt like I'm just trying shit. I'm just basically, like, throwing shit around until it works. I never really... There might be a very logical, systematic way to solve these, but I was never able to come up with a method or something that I felt was a really solid approach. It always just felt like kind of guessing until something happens. Yep, this is the classic Tetris piece Talos Principle experience, just for me at least, just sort of like hitting a wall eventually and being like, you know what? I'm ready to move on to something else. As awesome as the Talos Principle was, I think this was my least favorite part of the game, so hopefully this is just in the museum. For historical purposes only, we can hope. Yeah, I think I will leave these for now. But we have at least fully explored the museum. What else is there that we would want to check out? This place goes on forever. Although maybe the water is our barrier? I'm waiting to run into a spot where we can't go any further, but so far... Maybe this is the edge over here? This place is so cool. But I am now seeing that this dome is not complete. There is a huge portion of this dome that has yet to be put into place. And they did mention that, right? That they didn't quite have... They were having trouble completing the dome. Looks like maybe we've reached our outer limits. And there doesn't seem to be anything out here. But it is kind of cool they let you run around this far, I guess. All this scaffolding in place, but there's nobody out here working. Gotta be thorough. Gotta be thorough and check everywhere because, hey, there might be somebody out here that you can talk to.
1K, you've strayed far.
That's what I do.
Well, that gives me a chance to apologize for completion day not being entirely complete.
You mean the dome? I noticed.
Yes, it's my responsibility. I'm the chief architect. It was supposed to be done in time for completion day, but we simply didn't have enough resources.
What's the dome for?
It has two purposes: to protect New Jerusalem from the world, and to protect the world from New Jerusalem.
Does the world really need protecting from New Jerusalem?
That's what the founder taught us. One city may not seem like much, but just look at the dead city and how it transformed the environment. The consequences are still with us, even more than 1,000 years later.
When is the dome going to be complete?
At this rate, I'm not sure. Maybe another decade or two.
Whoa. I guess we only have 1,000 of us. So there's really not like a ton of people to devote to the task. Doesn't building this huge dome consume too many resources? Seems antithetical to the goal.
You're right. I have heard that argument. But the way it's been explained to me is that the dome has a greater value than just its practical use. It's a symbol of the society we aspire to become.
This architecture over here looks like also kind of taken from the simulation. What's hidden in here? Oh, hello. We found a cat. Hello. Hi, kitty. Is it a real cat? It looks like it's, no, it is moving. It wasn't moving there for a second. I thought maybe we just found a facsimile cat. But we can give the cat pets, which is good.
Oh, it's you. Number 1000. Today is completion day, isn't it? Sorry, I turned off all the streams. Founder bless you, I guess.
I guess. Are you all right?
Not really, no. But I don't want to burden you with my problems on your special day.
Oh, so this poor guy, he's over here in the corner off, you know, with his cat, just all depressed. Go ahead, tell me what's wrong.
You're as new to this world as it gets, 1K. What do you think might give you a sense of meaning? A sense that life is actually worth living?
A good question. A tough to answer question. Probably a combination of factors.
That's probably correct. But I've tried a lot of different approaches, and there's always been something missing.
Then where can meaning be found?
Love, 1K. It's our only point of access to the divine. Our only way of transcending ourselves without losing what makes us unique. I'm absolutely certain. But
what?
But the right person for me hasn't been born yet. None of the people in this city are who I'm looking for, and if we really stop making new citizens, I'll be alone forever.
Oh no, no wonder this poor guy's depressed. How about I don't think there's one specific person who's the only one we can love?
I'm old enough to remember the love between Athena and Cornelius, so forgive me if I don't believe that.
Well, I don't know. I just got here, so I'm sure that I'm not going to be able to solve that age-old question. So, but thanks for the chat. I gotta get going. Did he bow or did he? No, he just started sulking, I think. Oh, poor guy. Got some more relics out here. What is this? Actually, what is that? A massage aid used by ancient humans to combat muscle fatigue and other physical ailments. common to biological organisms. This prevented pain, the ancient human equivalent of error codes 704, 705, and 921 and 932. I thought they were going to, okay, maybe this isn't what I thought it was initially, but it sort of looked like a, it sort of looks like a vibrator, doesn't it? A piece of sanitary hardware used to dispose of biological excretions resulting from food and water intake required to power ancient human biology. Such hardware was connected to a vast network of subterranean pipes leading to wastewater treatment facilities, a classic example of ancient infrastructure used to control their impact on the environment. So these are just more like, instead of the museum that focuses on the simulation, this is just a museum or an extension that talks about human natural history, ancient human history. We have a soccer ball though, or as some would say, football. This game was played around the entire globe and aroused great passion in its followers. It was often simulated digitally, most notably in the form of Football Glory 1994. That's must be some old video game that I'm not aware of. I'm more of the Tecmo Bowl generation.
Dude, it's you! You're 1K! So nice to meet you, dude. I saw you on the Completion Day stream. Hey,
did you now?
You checked out all this ancient stuff?
I have.
Me too. This is amazing, isn't it?
What's a dude?
Dude is an old human word that means an excellent person. And I like to use it because I think we should all be excellent to each other.
Right on, gnarly dude. Tell me about yourself.
I'm almost as new as you are. I'm 998, so I've only been around for a year or so. I'm still
I just
trying
noticed
to get
that.
the hang of this. It's pretty cool though, right? I mean, existence. It's totally gnarly. I'm not sure if I use that right.
I beat you to the punch. So what do you think about the goal?
I'm sure the founder knew what she was doing. I mean, our ancestors did sort of mess up, right? So we should probably take it easy with the expanding and stuff. Plus, did you see that trippy sky projection thing? That was some freaky stuff, man. Just seems safer to stay in the city.
Also very purple, just out of coincidence. It's definitely better to be careful.
For sure, dude. I mean, when I woke up, I just had a chat with Neith, and that was overwhelming enough. You got the welcoming committee, and then the giant talking man in the sky? Whoa.
What do you think Prometheus is?
Honestly, based on everything I know of ancient human culture, I think he's a ghost.
Who knows? Maybe you're right.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say I'm wrong. Ghosts are creepy, dude.
Your diction is unusual, I have to say.
Yeah, dude. I thought this voice pack could give me a bit of confidence, help me stand out, you know? But I'm not sure it's working.
Oh, I love it. I do love all the different accents and voices that they're using. It adds a very human touch. Love it. Tell me about these human artifacts.
They're pretty neat, huh? My favorite is that thing called a toilet. Our ancestors had to use it like 3 times a day to do a memory dump, and if they didn't, they freaking exploded. Imagine having to deal with that sort of anxiety all the time. Bummer, huh?
A memory dump. Oh, perfect. I think that's a good place for us to end our conversation.
Right.
Thanks, Purple. You're the best.
Maybe you can help me? I'm not sure I should keep this voice pack.
Oh, no, you definitely
What do you
should.
think? You're 1K. You're special.
I mean,
I'm happy to go with whatever you recommend.
I'm not so sure about me being special, but I think you should definitely learn to make your own choices. But in this case, I'm definitely going to say that you should stick with it because that's what makes you Purple.
Excellent. Thanks, dude.
Tell Purple what to do about his voice. Excellent. Gosh, there's a whole nother building over here too. Complete works of Straton of Stygia, the materialist philosopher who defined the Talos Principle. My understanding is that it is a fictional guy. Straton of Stygia, I don't think actually existed, but I'm not sure. And then a toothbrush. The ancient human mastication apparatus required frequent maintenance. This device is theorized to be an ancient advanced electrical tool for this purpose, although some scholars maintain that its actual use was ritualistic and intended to mark the sunrise and sunset. It's so fascinating to see all the different theories of, you know, you don't really know what happened. You're just sort of speculating, giving it your best guess, which is kind of what we do with ancient history. Oh, hello, what is this? Oh, this is the Alexandra Dreenan Memorial. There we go. There we go, and she's holding the sigils. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, there's a listen option here. I totally didn't see this at first.
When I was in 9th grade, my parents took me to Pompeii.
Oh, it replays some of the audio logs.
By the feeling of walking through
That's kind of cool.
city. But then I suddenly got scared. I realized that I was walking through a real place where real people had lived, people like myself, with mothers and fathers and lives and hopes and dreams. And now it was all gone forever. I ran to my father, crying, and told him about this. And he said, I remember so clearly, he said, yes, but we are here. So long as there are people in the streets, the past isn't really gone.
And what do we have here? Oh, look at this. The cat. the famous cat at the end of the first game.
Hello, 1K. Nice to meet you. What brings you to Milton's Rest?
Oh, Milton's Rest, I see. I seem to inherently like cats.
It's funny how common that trait is. At first, I thought it might have been an error in the simulation, but it looks like it was the same for our ancestors. Can you believe that there used to be hundreds of millions of cats on the planet? And people used to make videos of them and share them with the rest of humanity? Must have been incredible. I wonder if they appreciated how good they had it. Well, this is the spot where the founder buried her first cat, Milton. She found Milton just after she woke up, and he lived with her and the first companions for almost 20 years.
I see.
They say she was heartbroken
the first
when
cat
he
was
died
named
and swore
Milton.
that one day she would find the means to extend the lifespans of biological organisms.
Huh. Is that possible?
Probably, but we haven't really tried. It's not really considered part of the goal, you know. So, unfortunately, our cats still die pretty quickly. You fall in love with them, they become a part of your life, and then they're gone. That's why we built this place, to remember them.
What does he say to death is natural, we should accept it?
I'm sorry, but why?
Ha!
I mean, it sounds profound, but is it really? Death is natural, so is disease, pain, extinction. That doesn't mean we just shrug and ignore it. If we love something, we protect it. Even if I do everything right, eventually I will watch every cat I love die of kidney failure. What's good about that? Putting aside fortune cookie platitudes, how can we look at suffering and death and declare it good?
Not a bad answer. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's okay. Sorry if I got too passionate. Sometimes thinking about all my poor kittens gets to me.
Do you have a cat at the moment?
I do. Her name is Patricia. She's very beautiful and very specific in her preferences. She loves sunshine and sitting on people's heads. And she has a psychotic hatred of flies. I don't mean that she tries to catch them like a normal cat. I mean she is furious at the mere fact of their existence.
All right, we'll exhaust the dialogue here. Tell me about cats.
They're incredibly odd creatures. I've had many, and no two are alike. They have strange habits, they do unexpected things, they have zero respect for anyone. They're the weirdos of the animal kingdom, basically. And despite that, or maybe because of it, they end up running your life. I once didn't use my recharging station for almost 15 years because one of my cats liked to sleep in it.
I'm actually more of a dog person myself, but I can appreciate the cat love. What's your favorite cat fact?
I think the most amazing fact about cats is that they self-domesticated, which is another way of saying that they're not properly domesticated at all.
Yeah.
They just showed up one day and decided to start living with our ancestors. Then, after our ancestors died, they went back to living in the wild, and when we showed up, they moved right back into our homes. Dogs, meanwhile, turned back into wolves.
Oh,
They
that's
needed
the
to
answer,
change
huh?
To survive. Cats just are.
Ah, okay. That's why there are no dogs around. They turned into wolves, basically. Okay, got it. Milton, when everything changed, you made sure I wasn't alone. Aw, that's a cute picture. Dean, the nicest cat, perhaps the only nice cat. Carlito, we did everything we could to save you. I hope there's an afterlife for cats. Castiel, half angel, half demon, all perfect. Damn, truly a special creature. So glad I saved you. Gru, a powerful cat and a good friend. I miss you, and I'm sorry I couldn't find you again. Hassan, you were very gentle and beautiful, and I wish nature had been kinder to you. Are these all developer cats, I would imagine? The fuck? That kind of fucking scared me. Did I scare you? Is that what happened?
Blessings.
I'm scaring this cat to death. Where the hell are you gonna go? Are you gonna lead us to an Easter egg? Looks like it just goes in circles. Tablets of the Founder. I didn't see these at first. Create 1,000 citizens, the ideal number of humans. Live in harmony with nature. Maintain balance in all things. How did we come up with this ideal number? That's what I want to know. Be thankful to the progenitor, Alexandra Drennan. Be thankful to the keeper of memories, Arkady Chernyshevsky. Keep bright the memory of Gehenna and its people who found peace. Maybe you can tell us more about these? Oh, you, Thekla, you're the one... You kind of remind me of one with faith. You are a devotee to the Founder and bringing glory to the Founder.
Founder bless you, 1K.
There we go, yes.
How lovely of you to come here, to the very spot where she established the teachings that led to your creation.
Tell me more about the Founder.
The Founder was born out of the trials of Elohim, an almost impossible test created by our distant ancestors. To pass these trials, she had to embody the most important virtues. She was smart and wise and humble. And through her perseverance, she resurrected humanity itself. With the help of the first companions, she founded this city, which has given our species a chance at redemption.
Yeah, tell me more about the first companions. I feel like these are probably the people that came from Gehenna.
They were the first to be born after the Founder. 2 whose bodies had been anointed by our ancestors, and 10 who were made whole by the Founder herself. They are the wisest of us. Though sadly, some were lost in the early days, before New Jerusalem was built. And some, I'm afraid, some seem to have rejected the Founder's teachings.
There is very much this religious mindset that appears to have taken hold among some of them, which is really fascinating. They don't necessarily, it's not necessarily enshrined in the same trappings that maybe we think of in terms of like a church and pews and singing hymns or whatnot, but the sayings and the ideological devotion that some of them have is definitely paralleled.
The Founder taught that humanity was destroyed by its hubris. Our ancestors thought they could play God and treat this planet as something to dominate. They surrendered to a fever of growth and extraction until the planet finally punished them for it. That's why the Founder created the goal. So we would have something to strive for in her absence, but also a limit we must never pass.
Yeah, see, even that feels like a very low resolution, simplistic way of thinking about things. Like, who knows exactly what happened in this fictional reality and what really led to the fate of humanity. But this boiling things down to such a very simple essence is such a it's a feature of ideologies in general, and it's something that I have a little bit of an aversion to, because things are almost always more complicated than that, right? And people who talk this way, where you know, they've rejected, they succumb to a fever of growth and extraction. Perhaps that's part of it, but there's probably more to the story that we're leaving out. But either way, why did the founder leave? That is one big question that we're trying to find out here.
That's not for us to know. But I believe that one day she will return. It may not be long now. Perhaps after we finish the dome. It was supposed to be finished before completion day. Well, it doesn't matter. The founder will return when she sees fit.
Yeah, the founder works in mysterious ways. That's not for us to know. It's not for us to question. I get the feeling that there may actually be literally 1,000 of these people around here. I have not been counting. It might be a little too far-fetched, but man, there are so many of you around here. Oh, what is this?
Speculating on the meaning of this Prometheus figure is premature until we can agree on its nature.
You already have a theory.
I know it's beyond any projection technology I'm aware of.
If it wasn't us, it
420.
must be alien.
Jacques 420. I'm gonna just stay quiet for now. You all do the talking.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 1K, we'd appreciate your thoughts on this. Now we've achieved the goal, fresh perspectives like yours will be increasingly hard to come by.
I'd love to get a quote from you for this evening's newsletter.
Speculation aside, 1K, is there anything we can know for sure about this Prometheus?
It directed us to an island somewhere. Maybe we'll say that.
That's undeniably true, and what does that tell us?
We may learn more by following its directions.
That was my conclusion as well. The apparition also appeared to be human. What can we assume from that?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I think wherever it came from, we can reasonably hope to understand it in time. I'm also sure that we lack the knowledge ourselves to create a projection of such clarity and magnitude.
I think I also have no idea.
Whoever or whatever is behind this, we're on the back foot. We need more information.
What makes you think it was a projection at all? How do we know it wasn't just a mass hallucination?
I considered some kind of bug in our code, but if so, it would have to be shared by all of us.
So, we're speculating again.
We've locked in the premises. I'd like to hear 1K's best guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns here. I just really don't know.
You're hardly engaging in the spirit of the debate, 1K, but no matter. The answers will reveal themselves in time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just let's go investigate. Why do I have to speculate on something I have no idea about? Gehenna Memorial Expedition 312? Oh, this is the one that was shut down, right? Postponed in accordance with the new power management and distribution plan, right? But we can go inside? Almost. Almost. Can I crouch? Let me crouch. I can get in, I swear. No, looks like no getting in. Yeah, I have to say that I'm honestly a little conflicted about this place. Just because, on the one hand, it is so amazing. The sheer scope of this place, how many things there are, how many people and NPCs there are, the level of detail that is in everything. It is absolutely remarkable. And on the other hand, I do find it a bit overwhelming because this might just be something that is a me problem, but I know that as a player, I do feel the compulsion to do all the optional stuff before moving on to the main story or the way that the game wants you to go. I feel like I have to do everything else first. And obviously I could go do the main story anytime I want, but I feel like, what if I'm missing? What if I miss out on something? What if I don't do, you know, what if there are things in this area that I'm not going to be able to access later? And also, I would be missing out on that sense of completion. So it would be nice for somebody like me, at least. I think it would have been nice for them to kind of have maybe gated this area a little bit, have parts of the area like the museum that are walled off, similar to how the Gehenna, that little Gehenna exhibit was walled off. I think that would have been a nice way to handle it. But it probably is just me, because most players are probably going to, you know, maybe poke around this area a little bit. and then be content to move on quickly to the main story. But I just know that about halfway through doing, as much as I have enjoyed all of these things, the variety is amazing, right? The variety of NPC interactions, all the different voice actors, and what they have done here is truly remarkable. But I also have found myself kind of wishing, or not wishing, but thinking, starting to think about new stuff, new puzzle content, because that was the heart of the first game. As much as it was interesting to think about the philosophy of artificial intelligence and whether or not it equates to human life and all of that stuff with Milton, the heart of the first game were the puzzles and trying to deal with all those really interesting mechanics. And so seeing what this game has to offer is something I'm getting the itch for as I'm sitting here doing the legacy puzzle, of course, because I'm a completionist, goddammit. I gotta do everything. Why am I like this? Why do I do this to myself? Hey, there we go. See, it just kind of falls into place eventually. Eventually, you just get there. And then it feels good, but I don't know. I still never feel completely rewarded. Just lucky. So what I did on the last one was I kind of kept experimenting with putting where to start with the single piece, right? The one that's just on its own, which we have again here. So we can start maybe with this in a corner, see how that works. That doesn't visually line up. Why does that not? Is it because it's sort of, I guess it's protruding off the board in sort of a three-dimensional way? The panel's a little bit tilted, so you don't notice it as much down here. Is it as simple as that? There we go. Okay. So maybe trying to find some kind of symmetry is the way to go. Like using the... Maybe that can start to be our starter strategy. I don't know how prevalent these puzzles are going to be. These could just be here as, again, just a legacy thing. And then we're not going to see this kind anymore. But we could, maybe, if we are going to see more of these throughout the game, the way to go might be to try to shorten the puzzle. Shorten the puzzle, make the puzzle smaller, use our pieces like the squares and the 4 bars to kind of shrink the puzzle. Maybe we can do that here as well. So if we just focus on something like this, like we could just go ahead and do that here, and we make our puzzle half the size right off the bat. And then we can focus on... Now we actually have a symmetrical... These are potentially symmetrical. Well, I say symmetrical. I'm saying they can potentially... Like, there's an even number of each of these. So... If we go, like... This... You could do another one of these. It wouldn't be symmetrical, but maybe it would be... The T-shapes fit together so nicely, usually. These L-shapes are a little bit awkward with the... They're awkward unless you put them together. And just have them act essentially as 2 squares. And maybe that's the key, because then you can go like this. Okay. All right, so maybe there is a logical approach. Maybe I am a little bit more experienced and wiser now to be able to approach these in some sort of systematic fashion. Did we get an achievement? We did not even get an achievement for completing the museum puzzles here. We got, of course, the sense of accomplishment that you did all the puzzles, and what better reward is there than that? Alrighty, I think that is where we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this first installment of the Talos Principle 2. It's so fun to be saying those words, and it's been so much fun to check out a brand new game. And to see what Crow Team has done here with this starter area, I've had my couple little gripes about pacing and whatnot that I've stated, but in general, my initial thoughts are I am absolutely blown away. The sheer size and scope of just this optional starting area is just incredible. The variety of interactions, all the little cool points of interest to check out. It really is amazing what they have done with just the beginning of the game, or the prologue, if you will, because we haven't even really started playing the game, have we? The fun hasn't even begun because we've got the whole island, this mysterious island, and the Prometheus projection. All of these questions that surround that we have yet to explore, and I will be looking forward to checking that out with you all next time. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.